this lesson we're looking at plotting coordinates. We're going to start with the easier version where we've only got one quadrant, so it's only dealing with positive numbers to start off with. In the next few lessons we'll start having a look at the negative numbers as well. Now this is something you've probably done quite a bit and have seen all the way through school. However, it is a topic that we need to be able to do, and there are then quite a few follow-up topics that we need to do with this topic, those of which I'll do when I get back in January. So for now I just need to make sure that you've absolutely mastered this, and also it gives you a little bit of a couple of easier lessons whilst I'm away. First thing I'd like you to do is get your title, grade and date into your book, underlining your title. When you've done that, what I'd like you to do is, with a pencil and ruler, if you can draw, to start off with, a straight vertical line like this, and then a straight horizontal line like this. If you can do both of those lines to be 6 squares long. When you've got those drawn, we need to number them. So, in line with this bottom line, so that you've got the little lines of your page going through the numbers, if you can put the number 0, next line up would be 1, 2, 3, and so on, up to 6. Notice how the lines of the page are going through the numbers that you've written. Same along the bottom. Here, I don't have the lines on my paper, but you do in your books, and again you will have it so that the lines are going through the numbers. Before we can start plotting any more points, what we need to do is label it up so that this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. So if we start really basic with this, all we need to do is to plot some coordinates. So if I said to you we need to plot the coordinate 1, 3, notice whenever we do coordinates they must have brackets round them, otherwise it's just random numbers with a comma, and you must make sure there is a comma in between them, otherwise it means it's something else. So this in the middle must be a comma. So to plot the coordinate 1, 3, the first number always tells us how far along we go. The second number tells us how far up we go. So here 1, 3, we go along to 1, up 3, and a neat little cross. The next coordinate we'll have a look at, let's say, is 3, 5. So I'd go along to 3, up to 5, and put myself a little cross. Now, sometimes the question will just ask you to plot the coordinate. Other times, it might ask you to actually draw shapes using this. So the worksheet you're going to do today, what it will get you to do is to join up coordinates as you plot them. So whatever the first coordinate is, you would plot it, plot the second coordinate, and then join them together using a ruler and your pencil. It'll then give you a third coordinate. So let's say that this one is going to be 6, 1. So we go along to 6, up to 1, and put a little cross. And I join it up with the last one that I did. So it's going dot to dot almost. Final coordinate I'm going to do for this shape is going to be the coordinate 3, 0. Just watch out, the 0 means that we would go along 3 but then not go up anywhere, so the fourth point will be somewhere there on the axis. So I join this up with the last one. Okay? So the worksheet's going to get you to do that. Every time there's a bit of a gap in between, or maybe it goes on to the next line, this would represent the start of the next shape. It's a nice little easy task for you to do without much kind of pressure on it. I do expect you to get at least one, potentially two of the diagrams drawn. So let's see how much you can do. Sir will advise how big you need to do your axes and what numbers you need to put on them. But you need to make sure that you do all work using a pencil and ruler. No pens for any part of this other than maybe the numbers on the axis. But that is it. One little tip that I will suggest though, as you're reading the coordinates on the sheet and you've plotted them, it's sometimes a good idea to cross off the ones that you've done neatly, like this, just in case you make a mistake. But this way, you know where you're up to, so you don't plot the same point twice and you don't go to the wrong point.